Hi, I'm Lizzie and this is Laura, and we are currently sailing on board Ambassador's Ambition on a 6-day spring getaway cruise. Today is day 2 of our cruise and it is a day at sea.
If you're new to our channel, we release a new cruise or travel related video every single week, so do please subscribe so that you don't miss out on anything.
We didn't set an alarm or anything today because it's a sea day, and we thought we should have a bit of a lie-in after how late we got back to our cabin last night. In the end, we left our cabin around 10:30 in the morning. This meant that we had missed breakfast, as breakfast is only served up until 10 o'clock on board Ambition.
There isn't anywhere now that we can get any food on board this ship until 12, which is a little bit annoying for us as we've woken up a little bit hungry, but there's nothing we can do about it.
We headed straight to the Clifton bar because we wanted a soft drink, and we sat in there for a while. It was very busy in there, as at 11:15 there was a vignette being performed. These are short performances of around 15 minutes. This one was 2 actors and we thoroughly enjoyed it. We'd been looking forward to seeing one because we'd been told how good they were, and the audience really responded well to it.
Then we just went for a bit of a walk around really. We popped out onto the promenade deck and headed up to the top and had a little look out from there and wandered around the ship to try and get our bearings. During our walk, we stumbled upon the dining room and the doors were opening as we approached it, so we thought it would be rude not to head in there.
We were put on a shared table, which we absolutely loved, and again we had a great chat with the people that we were sat with. In the dining room, you have to go and get your soup or salad yourself, as like a buffet type of style. You get served your main course, and then dessert is also over on the buffet for you to go and get.
The waiter will also serve soft drinks, wines, beers and coffee at the end of your meal. I started with the soup, which was kokoliki, and I had some of the bread. The bread actually was really nice. There was a good array in there. And then for my main, I had the paella, which again was really, really good. It was a massive portion and there was plenty of seafood in there.
I had some bits of salad for my starter, and then for my main I had chicken picante, which was like a breaded chicken, and there was spaghetti covered in like a tomato sauce with lots and lots of cheese on top. It was very, very tasty and right up my street.
We then finished off our meal with some desserts from the buffet area. I had a piece of cake from there.
And because I don't like cakes, I was very, very healthy and I had some pineapple. We then went for a walk up on the top decks because we wanted a bit of exercise and some fresh air. It was very, very windy up there, but quite pleasant. The temperature was quite nice. And then after that, we headed towards the theatre because there was a production called Hell Hath No Fury on.
Hell Hath No Fury was a play led by 2 main cast members from the show cast, and it was an interesting storyline. We both enjoyed watching that. It was something different to do on a sea day. So we did notice that a few people had nodded off during the performance, but that was no reflection on the performance itself and the storyline of the play.
We then popped down to Cavern to have a drink, and we just sat in there again, just chatting to people and watching the world go by.
While we were in the cavern having a drink, bingo did start. We sat right at the back. We had no intention of joining in, but it was very, very serious in there. It was deathly silent. And we were very, very surprised by how high the prize money went up. So we are thinking maybe we might have a go on this bingo by the end of this cruise.
We were starting to feel a little bit peckish now, so we decided to pop up and see what afternoon tea had in store. We're not really a massive fan of afternoon tea because none of us like tea. Lauren's a bit fussy about the sandwiches and I don't like cake, so it was a bit of a strange choice for us, to be honest, but we just wanted to see what was there.
We picked out a selection of a few cakes and sandwiches and scones, but there wasn't really a lot that we liked from that selection, so we decided to head out to the poolside grill and grab some pizza to tide us over. We
then popped to Pendennis because we both were a bit thirsty now, and we both sat and had a Fanta. We were delighted there was Fanta to have because it doesn't actually say it on the menu, but we'd spotted a few cans behind the bar and it did come as part of the drinks package. We then headed back to the cabin to get ready. Now tonight is formal night, and at 7 p.m. there is an opportunity to meet the captain and some of the officers. However, when we were in our cabin getting ready, there was an announcement over the tannoys that this would no longer happen as he was needed to be part of a medevac. While we were disappointed that we wouldn't get to meet the captain, we were very, very understanding, and we really hope the person who had to be evacuated off the ship recovers quickly.
The welcome event was still happening in the Palladium Theatre, just without the captain there to meet you. So we still headed in there, and the duo who play the pianist and the violinist were in there performing, and there was some free drinks there on offer, which was sparkling wine, and there was some soft drinks also that you could get.
We really enjoyed listening to the classical duo and had a very enjoyable chat with the couple who was sitting next to us, and it was so lovely to see everybody dressed up in their best clothes.
We then headed back to the cavern. There was some trivia happening in there which we didn't enter properly, but we did sort of join in and see which ones we could have answered. We would never have come close to winning, so at least we didn't embarrass ourselves. And while we were in there, we could hear the helicopter performing the evacuation. Bit later on in the evening, we did hear from some fellow passengers that the helicopter had some trouble because it is so windy.
It was then time to head to dinner. We did get a little bit confused on entering the dining room because we came in a different entrance, and we then sort of lost where our table was, but we did find it in the end. We again had such a good night with everybody on our table, and we basically didn't stop laughing for the hour and a half. It was so much fun. We decided, because it was 4 more nights, to go for the 4 courses. So I had a prawn cocktail for my starter, and then I had tomato soup for my soup. After that, I had lamb for my main course, which got a bit distressing because we then found out people on our table breed lambs, and it made me feel really guilty that I was eating it. And then for my dessert, I had a cheese board again. I enjoyed my meal tonight. I could have done with a few more prawns in my prawn cocktail, but they were good. And the lamb, there was so much meat on it, it was definitely worth having.
For my meal, I started with a duck dish, which I wasn't massively keen on. It was a bit mushy. Then I had a fish chowder for my soup, which was an enjoyable soup. Then for my main, I had the salmon, which was a really lovely piece of salmon. It was a massive piece of salmon, and it was cooked very nicely. And then for dessert, I had chocolate souffle. I'm not sure it was very souffle-y. It was a bit more cake-like in texture, but that was probably more to my preference anyway, so I enjoyed that one.
We got our first glass of wine basically as soon as we sat down, but then actually tonight our glasses did become empty, and we actually had to ask for the wine waiter to come back over to be able to fill up all of our glasses on our table. It wasn't just us two, it was the whole table that were basically dry.
We then headed down to the theatre for the second performance of the evening, which was Love is in the Air. This was a musical performance where it was just really a songbook of different love songs set in a garden. The performances on board are of a really high standard. The singing was of an exceptional quality. The performances are a little bit different on here, just because they are more focused on the singing, and there aren't any big sort of production dance numbers involved in there.
The highlight for me though was getting to see someone dancing on point shoes. I've never seen it on a cruise ship before, and it really made me very, very happy. We then left the theatre and went and sat in the Purple Turtle for a drink, where we met Dan and Jay from Sail Away magazine. We had a lovely time sitting there chatting with them. We got offered some late night snacks while we were sat there, which Laura was especially pleased to finally get a chicken nugget.
I was so pleased. The late night snacks are a little bit of a strange arrangement. They literally walk around the ship with trays of snacks, and we essentially had a chicken nugget on a cocktail stick on a napkin sort of put in front of us, which I mean I quite enjoyed, but it's not sort of a high class snack.
The bar in Purple Turtle was then shut in, so we moved from there to the Pendennis, and then we sat with Dan and Jay for quite a long time sitting chatting, and the time whizzed by. We at one point presumed that they were going to shut the bar because there was basically us just sat there, and the bar staff were like, no, it's fine. So again, we were the last people around on the ship, but we really enjoyed our night chatting.
We headed back to our cabin, and it was again after 2 a.m. when we arrived back. We're not really sure where the night went. It seemed to zoom by so quickly. We know we're now getting a bit of a reputation for staying out late, but and it is, I will say, quiet around the ship late at night. There aren't lots of people around at that sort of hour.
Overall today we've enjoyed quite a relaxing sea day and really enjoyed ourselves on formal night. We've managed to see a lot of the ship and experienced quite a few of the different venues on board here. and we are now really looking forward to tomorrow when we are visiting Honfleur in France.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give this video a like and drop any questions you've got in the comments down below. Please also do subscribe to our channel. You can also follow us on social media. We're Sisters on the Seas.